Hi everyone, it's Spicy Sushi here. So, I had been planning on releasing a lot of content about money making strategies so far, but unfortunately, every money making strategy I've done this league, the market has crashed literally like a day or two after I farmed it for a whole day. I don't know what's up with the economy this league, but I just not think it to be suitable to make a video and show like a method. For example, in my strategies video, I recommended Heist and Blight, which is what I did the entire first week. It was fantastic for money. And then I was like, I'm going to make a video on this. And the day later, the Heist market crashed on TFT. Contracts were not selling. I had to pivot to a new strategy, so I couldn't make a video on that. Switched to Breach because the Breach market was still decent. Breach mixed with Blight. It was great. Day later, market completely crashed. So I could not make videos on those because I didn't want to release YouTube videos on methods that would be extremely frustrating for people coming in late. So yeah, that is what the status is for my money making strategies for mapping. But I do plan on releasing more videos in the future on money making strategies if the market does not completely collapse out of nowhere like it has been for some reason. But today, I wanted to go over how I've been sustaining my region for my Atlas strategy. The thing about Path of Exile is I learn new things every single league. It does not matter how many thousands of hours I put into this game, I learn new things all the time. It's absolutely insane. But I'm really happy that I do gain that knowledge every league because it does improve my efficiency. It improves the way I tackle the league, tackle issues, tackle how I'm going to do map strategies, how am I going to make money when the economy is doing certain things. And so I'm hoping this helps you as well. So this league, I completed my Atlas as much as I wanted to. I've been super lazy with it. I only got to like 130 before I started my strategy like a week and a half ago. I recommend getting higher than this, especially higher than this. I've just been so lazy with it. But anyway, I completed the Atlas, filled out my watchstones. I bought basically some extra watchstones just to fill in like regions like these right here. I had Cyrus done and I just bought some watchstones just to sock it in a region like that, for example. But anyway, I had the Atlas filled out, Awakener level 8, and I went to Lira. I had a decent map pool for Lira. By like the 4th day of the league, I had maybe like 7 maps to work with. And I just figured as long as I can sustain a little bit, I can do what I want to do. Because I had the 3 maps that I cared about. I had a couple race courses, a couple shipyards, a few lighthouses. And these are the 3 layouts I like most in Lira. So I was just running the triangle here. But I noticed a problem. I was not getting many Lira maps at all. I was mostly getting maps for other regions. Now, I realize that's very possible when you have, watchstones in every region, but it's never been that bad for me. And so I decided to move to option number 1 that everyone recommends, taking 1 watchstone out of every region. This was okay, but I was still running out of maps extremely quickly. I was getting maybe 1 Lira map every 2 maps. If I was lucky, maybe 2 Lira maps in 1 map, but it still was not sustainable. So then I resorted to option number 2, 2 watchstones out of every region. So basically every region looked like this. So this is not exactly optimal because your awakening level is very low when you do that. And you do want this pretty high in general so that you can get some guardian maps, so you can get, higher chance at like Cortex or something like that. Or just maps in general, map currency, Atlas base type, that kind of stuff. But what I value more than that is not having to buy maps. I hate buying maps for the region that I want to farm. That is the opposite of what I want to do. So there was an issue when I was running 2 watchstones. Let me put it back in again. When I was running 2 watchstones every region, I was still getting these tier 11s and tier 12s. I was getting yellows sometimes. And this was not good because I don't want tier 11s or tier 12s. They don't sell. I'm never going to run them. They are literally just dead weight. They are not useful to me in the slightest. But then I had someone in chat come in. I don't remember the name, but they told me just take the watch tones out of every region. That's how the league is now. That's just how it is, this league. And I was so confused because I'd never heard of that. I had never heard of just actually unsocketing your entire region. But you know what? I was kind of desperate because I hated buying maps. I was running low on maps. It was a struggle. I was having to Horizon Orb maps to get Lira maps. And so that was an issue. So I did it. I listened to him. He didn't have any proof for it, but you know what? I was like, I'm desperate. I'm going to try it. So I unsocketed every single region. And the results were incredible. At first, I was running cartography scarabs, but I quickly realized there was no point. I was over-sustaining Lira just to insane levels. Now, you should really have more than 2 preferred, honestly, but I'm way too lazy right now. So basically, I was just rocking with 2 preferred. My goal was shipyard. When I run out of shipyards, I go to lighthouse. When I run out of lighthouses, I go back to shipyard. If I run out of both by some strange way, I can just go to race course. And at that point, I would have a ton of race courses so that I could move back to shipyard and just repeat. This was my triangle. I liked these 3 layouts, so it worked really well. And it was insane. So these tier 14 through tier 16, I was completely empty before I did Lira. I cleared out my entire maps because I knew I was going to sit in Lira, so I went to TFT and I sold my entire T14 to tier 16 tab early on because they do go for a lot of money early on, and I easily made about 8 to 10 chaos for each map in bulk. And so that got me a very, very nice start in the league. So I went into Lira with only Lira maps. I did not have any other region. Now, the sustain was nuts. So Toxic Sewer, I had 20 of them after I did my farm there. 26 Primordial Blocks, 16 Lookouts, 21 Forbidden Woods. And then if we move into tier 15s, it gets a little bit less, but basically 5, 4, 3, 5, 7, 10, 5. And then the main thing was shipyards. I was getting a lot of my preferred map. I don't have any lighthouses right now because I think at this part in the rotation, I don't think I have race courses either. Yeah. So basically, the shipyards, I would, if I would go through these 9 shipyards, I would get like maybe 2 to 3 Lira maps per map. And after 9 shipyards, I might have 27 to 30 plus Lira maps. And a lot of them would be race course or lighthouse because they're connected. So after doing these 9, I might have like 10 or something, 6 to 10 lighthouses. I'd move to that. By the end of doing that, I would have some shipyards, but I would have like 10 plus race courses, go to race course, repeat the triangle. So this was insane. The amount, I just got such an insane amount of Lira maps. It was incredible. But you'll notice I don't really have maps for any other region. Besides Valdo's, but we're going to go over that. So I have like 0, 0, 1, Lex Proxima 1, 1. It's not great, is it? Because you're not getting maps for other regions if you want to adjust. So here's what you can do. And this is a great idea if you want to pivot to a different strategy, or if you're thinking about, hey, tomorrow or over the next couple of days, I think I want to move to a new region for my strategy. This is what you'll have to do. So what I did was I had my regions. I need to put this back actually. So this is what happened. I put my watchstones into Lira, 4, and then everything else was empty. And I put 4 into Valdo's because I wanted to move to Valdo's syndicate farming. I wanted to do some Harbinger farming. I want to do some syndicate farming. So I had 4 in Lira, 4 in Valdo's. Now, as I was doing Lira, I had a big enough pool to where it was okay if I started running out of Lira maps very, very slowly. It was very staggered, but I did start losing my pool of Lira maps because I was socketed in 2 regions because I was getting a lot of Valdo's maps. Now, so for Valdo's, I decided to complete what I could, got 2 preferred, which was Canyon, and I started getting an incredible amount of Canyons as I was doing Lira and other Valdo's maps. Now, I can't give the exact numbers on how many Valdo's maps I got, but I went to Valdo's when I had about 10 Canyons. I only have 1 now because I've been spamming Canyon. But basically, I have 36, well, this is not just from Lira, but basically, you see, I have a lot of Liras now. because after I built up about 10 canyons and about like 15 of other maps, I moved to Valdo's and I dropped Lira. I took out my watchstones out of Lira. Valdo's was my home. Now, after doing Valdo's this was one day. I had almost zero maps in Valdo's before this. I decided to go to Valdo's. Now Valdo, I ended up, after one day of farming Valdo, 11 Dark Forest, 9 Arena, 4 Arid Lake, 7 Ivory Temple, 5 Pen, bunch of Ghetto, 15 Necropolis, 36 Mazes, and basically I would run Canyons. I would run Canyons and I would switch to Necropolis. I like Necropolis. It's a pretty decent layout, and I would just go between these two. I never had to get too desperate to go to Maze, but I went to Maze a few times yesterday. But mainly I was just bouncing between Canyon and Necropolis. I've not figured out a way to only do Canyon if I wanted to, besides buying it in bulk. Maybe I would have to get this to 164 and this to 164 or something to really only get Canyons, or like triple prefer it, But this was great. So, that as I was farming Valdo yesterday, I was like, you know what? I'm running out of June missions, because June is what I wanted to do here with Syndicate. I decided I kind of want to farm, well, I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to farm Haywork for June missions. I'm going to get Watchstones that give increased chance for June, and I'm going to take Focused Investigation so I can get more June missions. So this is what I decided to do yesterday. I socketed 4 Watchstones in Haywork, 0 everywhere else, and 4 in Valdo's as I was doing Valdo's. Now because of this, like I said before, I started running low on Valdo's mission on maps. Well, not running low, but I was not sustaining Canyon and Necropolis as much, but I was getting a lot of Hayworks. I had nearly 0 Hayworks before last night. And this is how many Hayworks I got just from a couple of hours of doing Valdo's. I put Atoll as my preferred, and I'm already at 13 Atolls. This was from just a couple of hours of last night of mapping and setting Atoll to ×2 preferred up here. I built up 13 Atolls already. Let me filter. Other Hayworks I've gotten. Basically, just a few basic ones, 2 Ramparts. This, I don't have a great pool for Haywork yet, but this is just from a couple of hours. But basically, I have socketed Watchstones in here. I'm probably going to run Valdo's for another day or another, half day. Put some time into Valdo's, build up maybe 20 to 30 Atolls on my own, and I can just move to Haywork and do what I want to do there. This is fantastic if you do this, because once you decide to switch over, like for example, Haywork, I can choose to go to Atoll, and I'm going to do the exact same. So Atoll, I would probably bounce between, I suppose Excavation's not too bad of a layout. Terrace, not my favorite, but you could bounce between these 3. I don't think you're going to completely sustain Atoll, but you can bounce between these 3 pretty easily. Or maybe there's another one that you would want to do. Since Atoll is your preferred, you would, get more of it as you do others in this region. That's just up to you. But yeah, that's basically the strategy. 0 Watchstones everywhere. If you want to move to a new region, you leave Watchstones in here. You have 4 in the region you want to pivot to. You keep doing your strategy here. And then once you build up the map pool you want to go to, you drop the Watchstones here or wherever it is. And you only have 4 Watchstones in the region you're going to farm. You maybe farm for a few hours in that region, build up a big map pool. Like you don't have to go as ridiculous as I went. Like you do not have to go as absolutely insane as I did. Getting like 26 primordial blocks and like 21 forbidden forests. I definitely should have put Watchstones in another region earlier. But basically, you would move here, take the Watchstones out, farm this area for a while, build up a good map pool that you're comfortable with, and then when you're thinking about pivoting to a new area, like let's say, there's been some traction in New Vestir. I want to do some Legion farming in New Vestir, smack some Watchstones in there, and nowhere else, Watchstones in there, Watchstones in here, and keep doing your strategy in Haywork if it is, and you'll start building up a map pool for New Vestir. And that's probably going to be the next thing I do. unless I want to build up a Valdo's rest map pool again for Syndicate. There's always options. Now, just to address concerns about the Awakening level, it depends how much you value it. This is from about 50, this is about from 70 to 80 maps though, from yesterday. I got all of these Guardian maps with just an Awakening level of 1, and like 2 for maybe a little bit over half the day. So you do still get Guardian maps, but not nearly as much as you would. It depends how much you value your map sustain over Guardian maps. You could also just not be lazy like me and finish your Uncharted Realms, get Remnants of the Past or like Atlas Awakened level just to get a little bit more bonus on that. I've just been way too lazy to finish my Awakened, my Uncharted Realms. That's always an option. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching. There are going to be more videos coming out, basically updates on other mapping strategies. I'm going to be starting doing a build diary over this Winter Orb Occultus. And I'm also going to do like a week 1 and week 2 recap to go over, I guess, everything I did if people are interested, because I do get questions a lot on everything I decided to do the week 1 and 2 for money. And so I will cover that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.